In today's episode, Sunny asks, how do you create an argument using data that a piece of content is working? Is there a go-to formula you can pull to say, yes, kind of, sort of, needs work, or no? There's a bunch of different ways to do this. The way that I usually do it for customers is to run what is called a Markov chain model, where if you think about every page or piece of content on your website as, say, a tile in a walkway, which tiles do people walk on the most on their way to getting to, the front door, right? And then based on the probability that a certain tile leads to the next tile, leads to the next tile, leads to the person getting to the door, you would assign importance numbers to those tiles. Like this tile here, this is the one that everybody steps on the way to the door. The same technology is at play when you're doing these machine learning models for content analytics to say, this webinar or this email or this blog post, this is the one that people always walk on. So let's make sure that we assign the most importance to that. And then we know we've got to send traffic there, right? We've got to share it on social media, run some ads, send an email, showcase it at a conference, put it in your Slack group, whatever the case is, whatever the technique is. That is sort of my go-to formula. Now, if you don't have access to that type of machine learning, and you don't want to hire me to do it for you, which is fine, one of the other ways to handle that is to make sure that Google Analytics has goals and goal values set up. Goals and goal values. Because one of the things that Google Analytics does is it looks at the path that somebody takes as they traverse your website, and then the monetary value of the goal at the end. And then it infers the page value based on how many times that page appears in the path on the way to conversion, and obviously what the conversion size is. Now, for those folks who are e-commerce folks, that's pretty straightforward, right? Your e-commerce shopping software handles a lot of that for you. If you're not an e-commerce company, you can still do this by putting in a goal value and somebody fills out a form, right? So if you know that your average lead is worth $1,000, then when somebody fills out a lead gen form, $1,000 is what the value is that should go in there. And then once that's in place, Google Analytics can start reverse engineering. Okay, what is the content value of every page on your website? What is the dollar amount that page has generated? And that's, I would say, one of the easier ways to answer this question. Of the two, I would go with the Markov chain model because it is, I think, more accurate and a bit more sophisticated. But the page value model is not a bad model, right? It's certainly not terrible. And that's my go-to formula. If neither of those are possibilities, particularly if you're trying to measure stuff off platform, like say a page in your Medium blog or your posts on Instagram, then you can do multiple regression analysis. And this is where you take a big old table of every column of marketing data you have, Facebook likes and tweets and retweets and sentiment scores and this, that, and the other thing. And then you have a column at the end, which is your response variable, which is leads generated or sales made or whatever the case may be. And then, again, statistical software looks at all those different numbers alone and in combination and says, this is the basket of metrics that has the highest mathematical correlation to the outcome you care about. And then once you know that, you can start to say, okay, well, this piece of content or this channel really seems to resonate, right? If you have every page on your website with its, with the number of visits on it, and then you have your conversions, you can see there are certain pages over time that have a strong propensity to convert. That's another way of doing that. It's a little more messy, but sometimes it's the only way if you're dealing with external data like your posts on LinkedIn and so on and so forth. So that's the answer to that question. It's a good question. Thank you.